Hello, my name is KusaiKyle. You can just call me Kyle, and this is going to be, or is, the Barely Listening podcast, where I will, at least I plan to talk about my life experiences and just major ways that I've developed as a person, and stuff that you might not realize you're ignoring on a daily basis. So to start with, what do you think you are ignoring? What could you be doing right now instead of listening to this podcast? Albeit you're probably listening in a car or on a walk, and you have those priorities you gotta get to, in your free time, or you are in your free time. That's a beautiful thing too, is spending your time how you like. One thing that I've noticed, a big problem with society today, is the fact that none of us are listening to our inner selves. What do we drive? What do we strive to do or be? And another reason I'm creating this podcast is because screw it, why not? It's all about getting up and getting out there and doing something you enjoy, whether people think you as a person can do it or not. If you believe you can do something, I believe you can do it personally. If you put your mind to it, if you put that hard work, blood, sweat, and tears into whatever it is you are doing on your free time, maybe even on time you shouldn't be doing it. Whatever the case, go out and do the thing now. I have learned from experience that waiting to do something or waiting to create something, let's say a YouTube video, uploading a song, writing something, writing that book you've always wanted to write, that podcast you want to start, do it now. And that's what this podcast is mostly about, is finding your way in life and ways to figure out what you should be doing, I guess. I really just am low and freeballing it at this point, and I don't know. Life has been hard recently, and you might think that, because of that, I might not have the best experiences or the best advice to give, or at least I think you might think that. And that's the biggest problem, is I will take a struggling man's ideals 100 times over somebody who has never struggled in their life. Life can screw you over, and the best part about being screwed over by life is that you can take that pain and that suffering and turn it into your motivation. I've had friends who I've had to cut out because they were toxic to my life. Hell, some of them even live with me, and that's besides my point. They don't live rent-free in my head, those who have wronged me and screwed me over. I use them as my motivation to kind of turn that a little bit of anger into my daily drive. I forgive them wholeheartedly, but I use that as my motivation to get stuff done now, because think about it this way. Success is the best revenge you can ever have on somebody. Now, I'm not saying once you are successful, go and showboat it in these people's faces. That's the opposite of what I'm saying, actually. I'm saying success shows, even if they hear it through an off-brand source, say one of your friends that's still chilling with them, or your ex-friends is like, hey, I heard that this person started a new podcast, or they wrote that book and they're really famous now, or at least in your own head, you are successful. That doesn't matter. The beautiful thing is, if it matters to you, I guarantee you, if you do it enough, you'll get good at it and it will matter to somebody else. And another thing, I know I'm rambling a lot here. On top of success, there comes meeting people who were meant to be in your life. Now, I'm not a religious man, and I don't really believe in fate, but I do believe in the fact that like-minded people will attract each other. And for instance, people that I would have never met in my life had I not been a streamer since 2013. I think I started this YouTube channel, and then when I started up on Twitch and VTubing, I've met so many phenomenal and amazing people. Not even just creators, phenomenal, just amazing people who watch my streams on a regular or semi-regular basis. If I've met you through a stream or YouTube video, that's the beauty of me getting up and doing something, because there's a lot of days that I don't want to do something like that, where I just want to sit in bed with my, depressive states of bipolar. I mean, I get so low that I can't do anything. And that's understandable. People need time to rest. You may need time to rest. You need time to rest. But there's a difference between resting and staying in that resting state. We all need time to process our emotions, and that's another beautiful thing about the human brain, is if you focus too much on one thing, you'll never process your emotions. For instance, I had a recent it was more so like a bittersweet release, right? With this girl that I loved a lot more than I expected to. It started out as a situationship. We had been talking for a couple months, and she helped me for a really tough point in my life. However, she started ghosting me out of the blue. I mean, we had literally cuddled a bunch of times, kissing, spending time together. I mean, I wouldn't take those moments away for anything, because first off, that's experience, and she had to move to Arizona because she's forwarding her career. That's her own life she's focusing on. Then I texted her. I'm like, you know what? I sent her this really long, respectful text like, hey, I liked you a lot more than I thought I would. And personally, I should have been the one to communicate that to her, that I liked her more than just a cuddle buddy, right? Situationship type of vibes. And I didn't expect a response. Like, I put a lot of heart and thought into just giving myself my own mental clarity. And I said that in the text, like, I needed to text you for mental clarity so I can let go. The beautiful thing is, she texted me after ghosting me for a couple weeks. And that's the beautiful thing. She said, I actually liked you, Kyle, more than I thought I would. I liked you at the same way I liked you as a relationship type partner, but I need to focus on myself before I can focus on relationship. And I understood that. And the beautiful thing is, I don't think you might realize how 1 in a million that is. Because I mean, I've been around the dating scene and the hookup scene. When you get ghosted, there's probably no chance that person is ever going to text you back. And I think that's very cowardly, and I was really upset. Hell, I even have a song in the works about how I was feeling when I got ghosted by that person. And the beautiful thing is that person had the courage to text me back and say, hey, I'm not interested. I'm rambling again. Anyways, so what can you take away from this, right? What is some small surmine? The fuck is surmine? I don't think that's a word. What is something you can take away from this, right? I guess honesty. Be as honest as you can. Second thing would be, focus on those around you. Kind of reevaluate how people are treating you, or how you let people in your life treat you. And be able to let things go. Letting things go is the biggest thing that I struggle with, because of I do have Asperger's syndrome. I'm on the spectrum, and whenever somebody hurts me, I used to perseverate on it and just focus on it to a T, and it would eat me up inside. I remember I used to harp at myself for the worst, or even the littlest things I did in my past as a kid. I was a dumb kid. We all were at one point. And then I realized, hey, those are learning experiences, and that's another thing you should take away from this, is every mistake you've ever made and every mistake you will ever make are only mistakes, just that. You can always learn from your mistakes. Always. I'm telling you right now, no matter how big the mistake, you always have the ability to change who you are. Listen to your past self, but don't harp on your mistakes. For instance, pick apart what you can, analyze what you did wrong and what the other person did wrong, and then let it go. Try to find the moral high ground in your mistakes, if that makes sense. And having that overly analytical mind is a hindrance and a blessing, simply because I have the ability to in-depth remember these seemingly like insignificant fuck-ups in my life. and then I can go and I can either let them control me, or I can overly analyze them and try to learn something from them, and that's what I've chosen to do. Be your present self. Your present self is the best version of you, I'm telling you right now. Your future self is what you could be. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about what your future is going to be. Yes, have long-term goals, right? Have some long-term goals, like maybe having a house, having a kid. I want a kid. Oh, this besides the point. Have some sort of long-term goal. But keep in mind, that's in the future. Don't hate your past. Don't hate your past self. Forgive your past self and thank them for the mistakes they made so that you can be who you are today. The shit that they went through is crazy, man. The shit you've gone through is crazy. And no matter the level of struggle you've been through, I am proud of you. Me personally, I'm proud of you. It always gets better. It will get better. However, brings me to my third point, I guess. Maybe my final point, I don't know. Been rambling more than I expected to. It's from a quote that I had just stumbled across that changed my life forever. Happiness is a choice, not a result. If you wait for happiness to come to you, you will never experience it except in bursts, and then it'll fade away. And as bizarre as that sounds, especially from somebody who has such an incredibly hard time regulating, or used to have a hard time regulating his emotions, I vibe with that. No matter on what day, if I'm just dead struck in my bed, like dead, like I don't want to get up, I want to sleep all day, no matter what, if you choose to linger in that state, no matter how depressed you are from experience, getting yourself up in any way and doing something creative, do something, you will have a better day. If you choose that happiness, you will have a better day. And I know it's unbelievably stupid, but I mean, when I was 4 years old, I was diagnosed with bipolar autism and ADHD. Rapid cycling was a huge thing in my life, and they put me on all these medications, but after I had this quote, I kind of found myself reevaluating how I looked at my mental illnesses and my chemical imbalance with the bipolar. And now I'm completely off my medication. Like, not even just me doing it myself. My doctor, my therapist had said, like a couple months ago, that, yo, you're good. You are in a good mental state right now. You'll probably have the highs and downs, but, you know, for the most part, you have good coping mechanisms. So, I mean, those are the three things. I know I rambled a lot. I could recap, but I forgot what I said. So, that's all from the heart. How long are we at? How long are we at right now is the question, I guess, right? Because I don't actually know. I don't really know how long the podcast should or shouldn't be. I don't think there's really any right amount, right? Well, so to speak, I'll end that episode here. That was a pretty good talking session, right? At least for an introductory post or podcast, right? And I hope all of you have a wonderful day, night, evening, whatever. And I guess I can, steal a line from one of my favorite anime. See you around, Space Cowboy. Yeah, but you enjoyed the podcast. Till next time.